But you got to change your tolerance. And that's why I was going through niggas like crazy. Can't fuck with it. Nope, don't like it. Don't like this. Oh, this outweigh this. Got to go. New nigga me, please.
What's good, YouTube? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another reaction video. If you're new here for the first time, my name is TMR, and since you clicked on this video, you might as well subscribe to this YouTube channel and make sure you click that notification bell. Leave your comments down below and enjoy this reaction video.
What's good, YouTube? What's good, TMR gang? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another live reaction video. You have just entered the Break Room Chronicles, where breaks are normally 15 minutes, but y'all over here, we break for 1 damn hour. Shouts out to the 2 Live crew. Child, I see you. By far the best damn chat on YouTube, honey. You better ask someone about this 2 Live crew. Oh, and shouts out to the Bush gang. Hey, Bush watchers. What it do, Bush gang? Shouts out to the Replay gang. Hey, Replay gang. Thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure you let us know in the bottom of the video that you're Replay gang in this thing. So myself and the 2 Live crew definitely know it's real. Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday to each and every one of y'all. I hope y'all are feeling good and doing great. Thank y'all so much for stopping what you were doing and meet me over here in the damn break room, y'all. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness gracious. Y'all see the title. Y'all see the thumbnail. Strong Mommy CHRISSY's in the break room today, y'all. And I didn't think she was going to be here that soon. Well, Strong Mommy CHRISSY has done a weekend full of lives, okay? She had went kind of dormant from the internet, and now she is back, y'all. And Strong Mommy CHRISSY is out here telling her truth. Oh, Lord. Okay, y'all. Oh, my goodness gracious. Now, it's going to be a minute, y'all. It's going to be a minute because we got to cipher through a bunch of information. And at the end of the day, that's what we do over here. We have been watching these channels. Some of y'all been watching these channels since pretty much primarily since they've been on the internet. A lot of you guys just tuned in the last few months, last couple years. But at the end of the day, we have been watching these ladies, and based off the internet, these ladies have been through a lot. When I say these ladies, we talking about the moms over here that we discuss. We talk about CHRISSY. We talk about Jazzy life. We talk about Liv's life. We also discuss a couple of the other moms, but they are basically in rotation as pretty much over here in the break room, okay? And I'm just going to say this, y'all. You know, when it comes to all these moms, based off what they got going on in their lives, I just, you know, as a mother myself, obviously older than them, but been there, done that. And it just, to me, it just gets to a point, I would think, where you would just say, I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired of living like this, be it if it's from the internet or just in their own personal stance. Okay, because we know, y'all, we talked about this many, many times, because the majority of us, if not all of us, are moms, okay, of either adult children or small children. But either way it goes, we are moms, right? And we know being a mom is a lot, right? Anytime you're responsible for somebody other than yourself, baby, that's a whole lot. But we all know that although it's a lot, it's not impossible, okay? And we have seen these ladies go through a lot onto internet. But in my opinion, okay, I think CHRISSY has been through more than the rest of these ladies. And when I say that, it's because she has more children than all of them, okay? She has more children's dads to deal with than all of the other ladies that we speak on. And we know primarily CHRISSY has went through a lot as far as relationships via the internet versus the other moms, okay? And it's always the conversation, or it's been the conversation a lot here lately, where people say, well, if we can drag Jasmine and Livio, how come we can't drag CHRISSY? And you're right. But my thing is, I feel like when it comes from a standpoint, when I discuss Jasmine, y'all, Jasmine is funny to me. She's so goofy that she's funny, right? Olivia, you talk I'm talking from my standpoint of reaction. When I discuss Olivia, she's obnoxious, so my commentary comes off that way too. When I discuss CHRISSY, it's just like she a ball of mess. Like, it's a lot going on with that lady, okay? So my commentary just be like a little confused at times. So the other day, CHRISSY came out, it might have been Friday, you guys. And I definitely don't think she should be dragged for DV, not anyone for that matter. Lachey, no, it's not even dragging her for DV, because who's going to drag somebody for being in a domestic violence situation, okay? No one's going to drag her for it, but we definitely need to talk about it, because based off what CHRISSY said in her video versus what that police report said, it definitely seemed like CHRISSY tried to clean up her story, right? She gave not the same. She didn't give the same information in her video as she gave the police officers. I'm going to just say that, okay? Because at the end of the day, everybody can read. Now, here's the thing. CHRISSY does not have to talk about her situation, right? She does not have to. But just in my opinion, just like she talked about DeMarcus leaving her pregnant, she was devastated, she was hurt. She talked about financial abuse from DeMarcus. She said DeMarcus stole money from her. She talked about a lot of other, like, mental abuse. She did talk about that. And just like she talked about that, and that literally rolled her to 100K. Y'all, we seen CHRISSY on here burning the man's clothes or tearing up. I think she was cutting up his clothes, and she did a whole music video about it, okay? So just like we seen her do that, you know, she came on here willingly discussing the situation with DeMarcus. I mean, in my opinion, once her information for her, unfortunately, but once it came out, that was her opportunity to, again, being a content creator, that was her opportunity to take advantage of that story. And just like she rode the fact that DeMarcus left her basically destitute, that was her opportunity to use that DV story to reach out to women, maybe grow her channel some more. But CHRISSY chose to, in my opinion, she chose not to talk about it. Even when it was brought up to her, she basically said, I don't want to talk about it. She said that what is being said is not true. Then just a few months later, you come out and say, yeah, it is true, but let me tell you what happened. So she said that she didn't lie about it. Essentially, you did, sis, because you said that nothing happened. When all actuality, something did happen. So we're going to get into it. I'm just reading you guys' comments. Even if I don't read your comment out loud, just if you notice, I'm bubbling it on the screen just to let you know that I see it. If I don't bubble your comment on the screen, it's not that I didn't see it, but I'm just trying to make sure I address it, everybody that I can, okay? So I'm just going to do it like this, y'all. We're gonna react to her video somewhat, okay? Yes, Snapple Apple, that's true. I stand heavy on it was no one's business. Right, it wasn't no one's business, but Lachey, it was nobody's business when DeMarcus left her either. That wasn't our business, but CHRISSY chose to make it our business. That DeMarcus leaving her pregnant, she had to move. All that was none of, to be quite honest with you, everything that goes on with them is not our business. But these ladies had made it a lucrative business to tell their business. Okay? So, as Shay says, victims downplay abuse all the time, then add social media to it. Is it really so far-fetched for her not to want people to know? No, it's not far-fetched for her not to want people to know, right? But I think, me personally, I don't think she wanted people to know because she was trying to protect him. I think initially when that situation jumped off, and you'll notice she said in the video that she probably shouldn't have called the police because that's how everything ended up getting out. If you know, we understand that a lot of times the victims will protect their abuser. And I really feel like the reason why she initially did not want to talk about it, because in some way they probably had reconciled, or maybe she was hoping they could reconcile. So she didn't want to literally drag him on the internet. But here's the thing, y'all. You got to think about it. If the DV situation was not our business, then why was it our business for her to come onto the internet and tell us that they were no longer together? If what you got going on in your relationship is not your business, is not the internet's business, why was it our business to know that they broke up? That wasn't our business either. But she decided to come on the internet and say that. So, okay. You said I don't want TMR, so I don't know, not sub to her. Okay. Just don't address it. Yeah, I mean, you know, she probably could, she didn't have to address it at all, right? I guess she figures since everyone else telling her story, why don't she tell her aid and can make some money as well? Yeah, Vaughn, I mean, that makes sense. But that's the thing. When you say it's not the internet's business, then I would just assume that anything else that goes on isn't our business as well. So she made it our business to tell us that he left or that they're no longer together. I'm going to say that. She did make it our business to tell us that. There are things that I'll never tell anyone because it's my business. That's true, Black and Bougie. But once again, you guys, it wasn't our business that DeMarcus left her either. Was it? Was that our business? No, that wasn't our business. That wasn't our business that DeMarcus left her pregnant, having to move, no help. That wasn't our business either. But she decided to tell us that. CHRISSY got to 100K on that story. Okay? Because she wanted to share her emotional distress with the world, right? And a lot of people resonated with CHRISSY about that situation because they felt her. They've been there, done that. So they felt her. Okay. But I'm going to tell you guys something. Yeah, she was pregnant with Onyx, right, Vaughn? But I'm going to tell you guys something. Okay? But because she revealed what she comfortable with. Tosh. Yeah, that's true, sis. I'm not, look, y'all, I'm just going to tell you how I feel. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. I mean, either way it go, at the end of the day, that's why this is the break room. We conversate about it. You know, I know you guys feel, but here's the thing. It wasn't when okay, so let's say this. When Jasmine had the dents in her refrigerator, y'all really want to know why those dents was in her refrigerator, didn't y'all? That's not our business why those dents was in her refrigerator. Y'all really want to know, does Chris really live there? That wasn't our business to know if he lives there or not, but y'all want to know that. So I don't understand what the difference is. When the situation with Olivia losing custody of her kids, that's not our business, but y'all wanted to know that. Y'all wanted to know the reasons why she lost her kids. But that ain't our business. But y'all wanted to know that. So why we can't know what's going on with CHRISSY? That's my thing with the whole situation. If we can know what if we can wonder with Jasmine and Olivia, why we can't wonder with CHRISSY? Like, oh, I don't get that. Like, me personally, I'm not partial to none of these chicks. Maybe that's the difference with me versus you all. I'm not partial to any of them, right? I'm just watching, just like y'all. I have my thoughts and opinions. I have my thoughts and opinions either way. Excuse me, y'all. Okay, I had to take a drink of my soda. So she literally, like the other moms, just dress it up better. Hey, Dallas. Hey, Nee. Hey, Tima, I feel like if you're going to be transparent, be all the way or transparent. If not, just don't address it at all, like CHRISSY. But I do think she tried to dress this one up. Yeah, I do too. I definitely do think she tried to dress this one up. Right, Nee? I definitely do. In my opinion, she tried to save face as long as she could. Now, as she typically does, she is online trying to twist, turn, and control the narrative. Well, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think the reason why CHRISSY get caught up in the situations that she does, here's the thing, you guys. I don't know who is behind bringing CHRISSY's private business, although it's a public document. I don't know who's behind that, and nor am I trying to find that out, right? However, I think the reason why people do, and again, y'all, this is an assumption. I think the reason why that happens is for this reason right here. So let me show you guys. So Friday, CHRISSY showed up, and what people said was a Tesla. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. TMI has never actually saw a Tesla in person. So I didn't know what the hell this was. I just knew she was in a car with a big-ass panoramic view, roof, okay? But if you notice, I guess this is the charging station right here, the Tesla charging station. So if you are familiar with CHRISSY's current situation, or I don't know if she's moved or not, but CHRISSY got evicted from her home, okay? Again, I don't know why. I just know she was evicted. That's all I know, okay? And you would just think, I'm just grasping at straws here, you guys. If you are a person that currently in a now, mind you, she just went to court like July 6th or 7th of this month. Okay, so just what, a couple of weeks ago? If you are a person that's in the middle of an eviction, you probably wouldn't be showing up in a Tesla. I'm just saying, okay? Now, I don't know if CHRISSY has leased this vehicle. I don't know if she's rented this vehicle. I don't know if she's purchased it. I don't know any of those details because she hasn't said. But this is how she shows up. And I think this is why people do CHRISSY like she does. Because again, we're not saying that she can't live good, because we would want everybody to live good. But when you are in a situation like her, who she constantly moves, she talks about that in the video that we get ready to watch. She constantly moves. She's all, since I've been watching CHRISSY, I done seen the girl probably in about 5 or 6 different cars. And I've only been watching her since late 2018. Okay. So I don't know how she's doing that. And so I think people are just like, I think CHRISSY does this, and just again, this is my opinion, in a flex type of behavior. Because we know we live in a flex culture, okay? People like to flex on the internet. And me personally, if CHRISSY doesn't want people prying in her business, you probably shouldn't show up to the internet in a Tesla knowing just a couple of weeks ago you were in court for an eviction from your home. I'm just saying, y'all, okay? I'm just saying. So let me see what you guys are saying over here. People were telling her when she first started dating him, and people looked up his background that he had prior DV. I really wish she would have listened. She keeps herself in these situations, and CHRISSY admitted that. She admitted that. Jazz showed the refrigerator. CHRISSY didn't ring DV to YouTube. That was wrong to know. No, but abuse about women or kids shouldn't be discussed. Here's the thing, Nicole E. People talk about, I don't know if you guys remember, I think this was last year. That DV situation with what is her name? They played on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Oh goodness, what is their name? I'm sorry, I just thought about it. That's why I don't. What is her name? She's the lady. She's Whitney Houston's goddaughter. If you guys remember, if you guys know who I'm talking about, I can't think of her name right now. Okay. I think because people like CHRISSY, they want to protect her versus people don't care for Liv and Jasmine. I think that's true too. Hey, Red Tay, I didn't catch her live. Basically, it's an even playing field. No one is off limits. There are no favorites. Okay. I'm trying to see if you guys put that girl's name in here. What is the name of that? I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, I think this is the reason why people do CHRISSY like she does, right? Because people are trying to figure out, again, it's really no one's business, but people are trying to figure out why this is going on. So when, again, y'all, this is a woman who has 9 children. Not saying women with 9 kids can't live nice, but if you're being evicted from homes and then you showing up in a Tesla, now Tanika says Turo, and I was just getting ready to say that. Turo, I didn't even know about Turo to the other day, okay? So Turo is something where you can rent your cars out to people. It's kind of like Airbnb, but instead of renting a house, you're renting a car for like a week, a weekend, a month. I didn't even know people did that. But there is a such thing called Turo. Maybe that's what CHRISSY is doing. But even with that being said, why are you renting cars instead of just buying one? Why not buy a minivan to fit your whole entire family? This Tesla, I don't think would fit all her children. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't. It doesn't even look like it. But I think this is why people do CHRISSY the way she does, because CHRISSY likes to flex for the internet. What was the purpose of showing up in a Tesla? Why not show up on your back porch? Why not show up at a park? Why not show up at Starbucks? Okay? Why show up in a Tesla? Then she wonders why people do what they do to her. This is why. Now, we're not saying that you shouldn't be proud of an accomplishment if that is what it is, but we would just assume that you're not buying Teslas, and in this current month of July, you were in court for eviction. We would just assume that. Okay? It's not a flex if you can't keep it. I'm looking at you guys' comments. I'm sorry. You guys are... Brandy and Max. Thank you, Blossom. Oh, my goodness. I was looking for you. Brandy and Max. Brandy and Max from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Brandy and Max. Brandy came on here all disheveled I think this happened last year, early part of last year. Brandy came on here all disheveled on Instagram. It was on Instagram. She was very shaken, and people was like, wait, what's going on? Obviously, once, now CHRISSY didn't show up like that, but when CHRISSY did show up, if y'all remember, CHRISSY showed up to the internet after being gone for a while. She showed up to do an empty house tour, right? And she had on a mask in her house doing an empty house tour. So people was like, why is she got on a mask? And then when she she ended up doing another live. She ended up doing a live where she was discussing why she moved. And when she pulled the mask down, you saw the missing tooth, right? So then soon after that, I think around that same time, I'm almost positive because her situation with Rod happened January the 14th. Around that same time is when that police record of Rod came out. So people just, so she said that the reason why her tooth was missing is because she bit into a Dorito. That's what she said, y'all. So, I mean, I wasn't there. I'm not her tooth. I'm not her. So I can only believe what she stated. But then this police report comes out. And then after that, then that's when CHRISSY started, feeling like she needed to talk about it. But she really didn't talk about it, but she talked about it. Okay. So, okay, I'm trying to get into all you guys' comments. Hey, Taylor. Okay, school is about to start, and I'm sure she has to get her son back to his father, but sitting in a Tesla. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. Like I said, even the 7-passenger Tesla couldn't sit all the kids in booster seats. That lady is really something else. Yeah, that be my thing with CHRISSY. Okay, as a mother, Monique Slaughter, thank you. Oh no, Monique Slaughter is not who I'm talking about. Not Monique Slaughter. It was Brandy and Max. Maximilian and Brandy. I forget what Brandy's last name is. But anyway, that's who I was talking about when her situation came to the internet. And then once Brandy came on the internet, what happened was the audio was leaked of them getting into it. And when that audio was leaked, then Brandy came to the internet all disheveled on Instagram. And then people obviously started digging and found out what happened. But that's my point, you guys. I think this is the reason why CHRISSY goes through what she goes through, because people just trying to figure out. It's like CHRISSY in my opinion, she tries to make it like her being a mom of 9 kids is just it's no problem. Well, sis, me being a mama of 4 was a problem for me. Okay, it was rough, so I could just imagine her having double what I have. And it could be rough. Now, unless CHRISSY is over there making $50 an hour or $100 an hour, trying to, the proof is in the pudding. If you can financially handle whatever you got going on in your life, which is renting bills, okay, for most people, you probably wouldn't be in a position where you're moving all the time, But CHRISSY said in her video that y'all need to get used to that. CHRISSY said that she wants y'all to get used to the fact that she's going to move a lot, because she wants her children to be able to, she wants to give her children the life that she feels like they deserve. And she said that's going to require for her to move a lot. And all I kept thinking when she said that, I said, wait a minute, CHRISSY, why would you moving a lot require that to be a lifestyle? Hold on, you guys, hold on. I apologize, you guys. I'm so sorry for that. I had got a phone call. I'm so sorry for that. I apologize. All right. Tyson was eating a Dorito when Holyfield knocked them to. Oh, okay. All right. So let's get on to the reaction video, okay? Let's get on to the reaction video. At the end of the day, I personally feel like I don't know what's going on with CHRISSY, right? But I feel like there's a lot that goes on with her, okay? And with her saying, we need to get used to the fact of her moving. No, we necessarily don't need to get used to that. Her children need to get used to that. And I don't understand why you have to move a lot to be able to give your children a lifestyle that they deserve. Because I would just assume if you're moving into a house that you can afford the house, or the people that's renting you the house know that you can afford the house. Because most houses, they want to see your income. Now, unless CHRISSY is giving false documents to prove her income, I don't understand who's allowing her to move in houses and knowing that she can't satisfy a whole lease. So with her saying that, at that moment when I heard her say that, I said, you know what, y'all? CHRISSY likes living the gypsy lifestyle, right? Gypsies, they move all the time, right? She likes living that gypsy lifestyle. And if she likes it, at this point, we gotta love it, I guess, because this is what she's gonna do. So I guess what she was trying to say is, y'all stop making a big deal of me moving, because this is just what I want to do. And when she said that, I said, oh, we're not dealing with a rational individual. No rational individual would even state something that seems to be so insane. Out of anything in the world, I would think as a mother, what you want would want to give your children is stability. CHRISSY stated that she talked to a subscriber that reached out to her. And the subscriber told her that they was raised in the projects for 10 years. The subscriber told her that they would have rather moved every year to a nice house than to live in the projects for 10 years. And CHRISSY said once that subscriber told her that, she felt okay with her decision. And all I kept thinking was, CHRISSY, that don't even make sense. Now, living in the projects for some has not been a good story. There are people who have very horrible stories about living in the projects. But just because you live in the projects doesn't necessarily mean you live in trife life. You know, there are a lot of people who live in the projects and come out being very successful individuals. At the end of the day, living in the project is a mindset. It's the mentality, okay? A lot of times it's not where you live in, it's the people that's living there that makes the projects bad, right? But living in the projects, living in housing that accommodates your income is not a bad thing. It's the people that live in the projects that make it bad, right? And if I couldn't afford anywhere but project, as long as I could keep it clean and neat, that's where I would be living. So, y'all, you got to understand, when you watch the internet, you got to understand, everybody doesn't live and think the way people do. And CHRISSY clearly is one of those people. When she said that, like, we need to get used to the fact that she's going to be moving all the time, I said, well, damn, sis. So you just don't give a damn, huh? I mean, it's not even about the internet. It's about your lifestyle. What you giving your children. Why wouldn't you want your children to be able to come home every day and not worry about boxes in the living room and you giving them a sit down chat talking about, yeah, we got to move. Cal Damone said, I'm not sure if a subscriber told her that. I don't know either, honey. And her supporters are okay with this kind of mentality. But you know what, Sunshine? Her supporters can support what they want to support. Me personally, I don't support that type of behavior. You know, I used to move a lot, you guys, when my kids were young. I moved a lot, okay? And I know that one day I just said, I gotta stop this. Like, this is freaking crazy. Not only that, it was expensive. It was a headache. It was stressful. Like, I don't like looking for places. Like, and now, especially now, y'all, that was years ago. Now, it is so hard to find affordable, adequate housing. It's so hard to find that. So I don't know what this girl is doing, but I'm gonna be honest with you. CHRISSY mindset is just all over the place to me. Like, she does not sound like a rational individual. What CHRISSY does is she comes to the camera. She's cute. Her hair's cute, eyelashes, fingernails, and people get mesmerized by that. They're not even listening to CHRISSY. They so busy asphyxiated on how she's presented to the internet, right? So they don't even hear her. And if you just listen to CHRISSY, a lot of what she says makes no sense. I think CHRISSY is a very colorful liar. She decorates her stories to make them sound like it's okay. You know what, you guys? I mean, I'm going to have to move every year in order to give my kids a lifestyle. Well, how is you giving your kids a good lifestyle, uprooting them every year? She says that she tries to move to keep them where they can stay in the same schools. Sometimes, sis, it's not going to work out like that. If there's no rental houses in that area, then guess what? You're going to have to find another area. Just like she had to move out of Houston and moved all the way to Austin, hours away. I don't get it. I don't get it. Kayla said, here's the thing. CHRISSY seems to be going through some things mentally, and it shows in her decision making. Really, can we expect for her to rationalize because she's not mentally there? Yeah, something definitely is going on. Okay, I don't care what nobody say. Just like we know something is going on with Jasmine and Olivia, something is definitely going on with this chick. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care if you unsubscribe, get mad, but at the end of the day, I don't understand why y'all want that fluffy type of conversation. I'm going to just give it to you raw based off on how I'm perceiving it. And I don't feel like CHRISSY, like, if you really want to know the truth, at least Olivia can keep a house for over a year. Hell, and Jasmine too. This girl, for some reason, cannot. And she has more subscribers. If we're going to go off of Google AdSense income, you would just maybe think that she would make more because she has a bigger following, which makes her CPM more. You see what I'm saying? I don't know, you guys. Like I said, but this is why this happens to CHRISSY. This is why people go and try to exploit her, because CHRISSY likes to flex for the internet. What sense did it make you showing up in a Tesla? And since you got a whole eviction sitting in the Austin court, in the courts in Austin, in the city of Austin, what sense did that make? You should have showed up at Starbucks, okay? Now, I don't know if CHRISSY has rented this car. Some people said she was test driving it. I'm just going to say this. Since if you do another car vlog, you better show up in this Tesla. If you don't show up in this Tesla, sis, don't do no more car vlogs, okay? You better show up in this Tesla. What sense does it make you riding around in a Tesla and you being evicted from your home? That don't even make sense. I'm sorry. It don't make logical sense. None. It just don't make sense. Oh, Lord. These chicks worry the hell out of me. Uber lets people lease Teslas. Oh, okay, girl. Well, maybe she's an Uber driver. God, Lord. Yes, they're going to get her up with that Tesla. I thought maybe she was test driving it too, Devon. She couldn't have test drove it. Let me tell you something. This is how I know she couldn't have test drove it. Because in this particular video, if she was test driving this car, this video was an hour long, okay? This live that she did was an hour. On the same day, the video that we getting ready to watch, that video was 33 minutes. And then you got to understand, she edited that video as well. So we're just going to say CHRISSY at the minimum spent about 2 hours in this car. Nobody's letting you test drive no car for 2 hours, okay? Now, if they are, you better have some stellar credit, okay? Because the way scamming at an all-time high right now, yeah, Tesla just ain't just letting CHRISSY walk out the door without them being in the car with her. Now, so the whole test driving, I know here in Indiana, it depends. When we bought our car a couple of years ago, I can't even remember. Did the guy test drive with us? I think the dealership, I think the salesman did get in the car with us. I think so. I don't know. It's been a minute. I don't even remember. But typically, they don't just let you, I especially Like, how much do Teslas cost? Yeah, I've never even looked up a Tesla because I'm not TMR. I'm not in the Tesla. Like, I'm just going to assume it's an electric car. I'm just going to assume it's at least over 40, 50,000. And that's probably for a basic model, you know? So TMI is not, I'm not there yet, y'all, because we over here living, okay? Because one thing about TMI, ain't no flexing going on over here, okay? We just living, all right? So, okay, let me see what y'all comments are. You said at least Jazz matches her kids. Dusty and Chrissy's studying. Oh, kids. Oh, my Lord. And you know what's something else? I don't know, y'all. It's so many thoughts go through my mind. But let's get over here to the video, okay? Let's get over here to the video. You can't test drive overnight. I have before. You can test drive overnight. I have before. Moving to silence. But how long ago was that? Was that within the last year? Was that 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Was that recently? Now I rode in a Tesla Uber. Okay. Y'all think she Ubering? Is that what y'all think is going on? Well, she could be. You said, why does she even have a car that doesn't accommodate all her children any damn way? I mean, Sunrise Speaks, as long as I've been watching Chrissy, she's never had a car that accommodates all her children. Like I told you guys before, I have 4 children. For the longest, y'all, I drove either SUVs or minivans. For the longest. Because I had to have something in the event that we all as a family was going somewhere. I had to have something that was going to fit 7 people. I had to, right? So for the longest, and you know, it wasn't about me trying to look cute. It was about making sure my kids were comfortable and I could accommodate my whole family. Now, we do understand everybody has their own different set of priorities, right? But I remember one time looking at a 4-door car and it was so cute. I can't remember. I think it was like a Kia. And I was telling my husband, I said, well, I want that car. And then he was like, how you going to do that? Like, you can't do that. All them kids ain't going to fit in their car. Like, he was like, you can't do that. You got to wait till those kids start driving their own selves. And that's what I had to do. I had to wait till my kids start driving their own selves. And then I could, okay, y'all said 60,000. Okay, you said years ago. Yeah, I don't know. Uber still makes you pay lease. That don't care if you're Uber. Uber still makes you pay lease. They don't care if you're Uber. Okay, I don't know anything about that. Turo is great. Money talks, BS walk. Ooh, okay, Brittany. It's about her and not about the children. Okay, sis need a small yellow bus for all those kids. You know what? She definitely needs something that can accommodate all her family. That's just my personal opinion. I don't. If there's an emergency, how is she gonna get all the kids out the door? That'd be my thing with Chrissy. And you know what? Something else. I'm gonna just say this, you guys. When these chicks come on this internet constantly talking about how they love their children, how they love their children, why do y'all have to keep coming on here reassuring the world that you love your children? It would just show. I never understood that. Like, why do y'all always have to come on here talking about how much you love your kids? Sis, are you feeling guilty about something because you got to keep telling the internet that you love your children? We would hope you do love your children. Why do they, Olivia does it, Chrissy does it, Jasmine does it. Why do y'all have to constantly come on the internet to reassure us that you are a loving mother? Are you not a loving mother? And you want to keep reassuring the internet that you are? It's so weird to me. It's so weird. Sis says, I love my Honda Odyssey. Driving around in a Tesla and kids. Hold on, Newton. Okay. I can't get the, where's the comment? I'm sorry, Newton. I missed your comment. I'm sorry, sis. Here it is. Driving around in the Tesla and kids never even been on a proper vacation. Newton, I'm going to go and put that up in there. That was my next point. Before we going to get to this reaction video, but TMI got to speak her mind. Okay? We going to get to it. Can we talk? That's something else I noticed. And it's not just these mommies. There's other women on the internet that I watch that have children, and they're always taking like these luxury vacations. They're going to Mexico, Tulum. They're going to Jamaica. They're going Vegas. They're going Miami. But you don't never see them taking the kids anywhere. And I'm talking about Keisha K. Lee. I've never seen her take her kids on the airplane going somewhere, but her and Jeremy stay in the air or stay going somewhere. I'm talking about her, the moms that we watch. It's a lot of these moms on here that they're quick to do vacation vlog. They're in Tulum, they're here, they're there, but the kids hasn't went anywhere. And we're not saying that the kids you gotta just take the kids out the country. But one thing I can say, Peach, she take pretty much where she go, her kids go. When Peach went to Vegas, I think that was earlier this year for her birthday, Peach had her kids in Vegas with her. For her birthday, she had the nanny and her kids. She made sure she took her kids to Vegas with her. Now, when her and her husband went to Puerto Rico for their anniversary, no, the kids didn't go. And you just assume, yeah, this is to celebrate us. So the kids, we're going to leave the kids because they had just took the kids to Vegas, right? But she definitely believes in taking her kids with her. These chicks, I don't never see them. They quick to brag and boast about where they're going and what they're doing, but the kids sitting at home with somebody watching them. All right, let's get to y'all comments. If Peach has it, the kids have it. The most Keisha's get out of is the apartment pool. Exactly. That's not Keisha's children. Those kids belong to her mom. Well, Keisha birthed them. Now, I can say Peach always taking her kids somewhere. Yeah, she's always taking those kids somewhere. These chicks don't take their babies anywhere. Nowhere. They don't go anywhere. Nowhere. But they always somewhere. Okay? Y'all remember a couple years ago, CHRISSY went to Miami for her birthday. Them kids was at the house with her mama. I don't get that. I just don't get it. Olivia been in Florida, what, 3 years? Them kids, the only time they seen Disney World is if Olivia drove past it. She been in Florida all this time and haven't even took the kids to Disney World. Been in Florida, you are a resident of the state of Florida. Get discount for the tickets, and you barely drove past Disney with the kids in the car. I don't. Just trifling. Trifling for no crowdfunding for vacations. Trifling for no apparent reason, in my opinion, as mothers. Now, I've never taken my kids out of the country. The Daily Davidsons take their kids on trips. They sure do, Royal Blue. I've never taken my kids out of the country, but my kids have been a lot of places with me. We went to Florida. We've been, we went to Disney. We've been to, we went to Great Wolf Lodge. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Went to Great Wolf Lodge. We did that. Now my kids are older, but when my kids were younger, pretty much it wasn't too many places I went out of town and my kids didn't go with me. Okay, because a lot of times I had to pay somebody to watch my kids, and by the time I finished paying somebody, I might as well just take them with me. You know what I mean? Now there was occasions where me and my husband got a chance to get away without the kids, but those were very far in between. We were very adamant on when we left to go somewhere, we just took the kids with us. It was just easier for us, right? Have they ever been to a museum in a city, a zoo? I've never seen zoos. I've never seen anything. A Legoland. That baby still ain't been to Legoland. Olivia had them kids for 42 days and still didn't take them kids to a Legoland. That's what I'm saying. Just subpar type mommying. I can get it if you weren't on the internet, but because you're on the internet, that subpar mommying, like, sis, at this point, what you even got a YouTube channel for? In my opinion, I don't get it, y'all. I don't get it. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. I watched CHRISSY old video. She did do more things with them before she moved to Texas. Oh, okay. Okay. My son wants to go to the UK. Well, sis, make it happen. Okay, get him a passport and make it happen. Now, I don't know. Don't go to the UK right now because they're dealing with a lot of inflation over there. It's kind of crazy over there in the UK. Maybe wait a while till the economy tries to even itself out. But look into it, sis. I definitely, if you plan on going anywhere, just make sure you look at. Keisha took the kids to Texas when she had to get those awful breasts redone along with her mother. The kids didn't stay home with Trifling Jeremy. Oh, okay. She took them to Texas. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's get into this video. Okay, so this is called Revealing My Truth. Uh-oh. Okay, you guys. Sorry about that.
Life. You know, there are people who think that I'm supposed to tell them, which I'm not. I'm going to share this though because I just feel like it. Okay. I have to have I have to have the air blowing because if I don't have it blowing, my phone's gonna overheat. So I hope you guys can hear over that. Okay. So the night that this happened, me and Rod were cooking in the kitchen. Okay. We were cooking in the kitchen for dinner for the kids. He was making dinner actually, and I was recording him for his cooking channel. I had just recently got over COVID, so I was better, but I was like still having some moments days where I would just feel sick again. I don't know if that happened to any of you guys who had COVID. I know I went through that when I had pneumonia. And I had pneumonia recently. I mean, when I had pneumonia, and I had COVID pneumonia, so that's probably why I was feeling like that. But anyway, so it was one of my days where I was just tired. I was tired. I wasn't feeling well, and the kids were all rowdy and hyper, and just one of them days where I was just like, I just want to go to bed, take a bath, and go to bed. But I was committed to getting this done. Plus, dinner had to be made anyway. It just took longer because I was recording. So I was aggravated as it was. He knew this. I'm like, I'm tired, but I'm gonna help you do this because we need content for the channel, whatever. So we did that, and right at the end, we get all the kids fed. I'm getting the last shot. During the process of that, me and him, he said something that made me angry, and I can't remember what it was. So at this point, I'm like, finish the rest yourself. I'm about to go take my bubble bath because that's what I wanted to do anyway. And so he gets on the phone with his cousin, who's a woman who's older than both of us. And I don't know his cousin personally. I don't have a problem with any of his family, but I just don't know her personally. All right, so basically he gets on the phone with his cousin, and he's just talking. He's talking about us. I guess I'm not getting along right now or whatever. Or he's talking about the situation or me bickering or whatever. I don't know what he's talking about. So he leaves for an hour. About an hour, talking about soaking, and then comes back into the room. And by this time, I'm getting out the tub, getting my pajamas on, and he's talking to the cousin about something, and he's like, "Yeah, she's here," and he puts the cousin on speaker. I already don't like that. I hate when people do that to me, just in any situation. Like, don't put me on speaker, and I don't want to talk to your fucking cousin because what am I talking to her about? I'm a grown ass woman. I said what I said. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Stop putting your cousin in our business. That's really where I was coming from. So I was already irritated. Like I already told y'all, I was not feeling well. So I was like, all right, whatever. So out of respect, I was like, okay, She gets on the phone, and so he puts on speaker. I'm like, yeah, yeah, hi. And she's like, I'm just sitting there, and she's just yelling. She's like, bitch, you blah, 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 blah. And if you was really sick, like you pretended to be sick, but if you was really sick, like you claimed you were, then you would have the energy to argue with anybody and blah, 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 like just all this other shit. And I'm just...
Cricket. Now, here's the thing, you guys. This is Chrissy's story. She's telling it. We weren't there, okay? Sis said that Rod called his cousin. I'm starting to feel like this is the story that CHRISSY is decorating to make her seem, to make it sound, to make it more understandable why she was upset. But if this is a cousin that doesn't know you, right? Do not know you. CHRISSY just said that. Did y'all hear that? She said she don't know the cousin, right? Okay. She never met the cousin. She don't know the cousin. Maybe she know of the cousin, right? If it is a cousin. And Rod calls the cousin because they're going through something. So maybe he called the cousin because she said the cousin is older than her and Rod. Okay. So maybe he called the cousin. So when she say older, I'm just going to assume maybe the lady's in her 40s or 50s, something like that. Because she made an emphasis to say the cousin is older. Much older is what she said. If Rod's on the phone trying to say we going through something, most women would be a very in an unbiased position, listening to Rod's side of the story and probably saying, well, you know, Rod, put her on speakerphone. Let me see if I can talk to her. Let me try to diffuse the situation. CHRISSY, in the heat of the moment, she upset. But why would the woman just start calling you all kind of B's and calling you bitches out your name? Why would she do that? What would make her so upset to call you out your name unless you were calling her out her name? Because I can't see why this woman would just automatically start calling you bitches when there's already a domestic dispute going on. So if Rod called the cousin to diffuse the situation, how did she get escalated? Unless CHRISSY escalated with the cousin. So if CHRISSY got out of pocket, then all of a sudden, obviously, the cousin would get out of pocket. If it was a cousin. Now, in the report, CHRISSY, somebody said, I don't know if it was CHRISSY or Rod said that he was talking to his cousin. In my opinion, if Rod said it was a cousin, I personally feel like it wasn't a cousin. I think CHRISSY caught this man on the phone or maybe seen a text message or something, and maybe that's how the argument assumed. Again, that's an assumption. I don't know, right? But if we're going to go with her story, it doesn't sound plausible for the cousin to just start bucking back at her when the cousin was supposed to be the voice of reason, right? Because again, she don't know CHRISSY. She know of CHRISSY, but she don't know CHRISSY. So why was all of a sudden she start calling you bitches? How does she know you don't feel good? Did Rod say, she's sick? How does she know you not feel good? Unless Rod said, oh, she just got out the hospital with having COVID. Again, I don't know the particulars, but it just didn't sound right. So let's finish listening.
So I'm to myself, I'm like, self, don't let her get you worked up. Don't let her get you worked up, because that's exactly what she's trying to do. And I don't even know her, and she doesn't even know what she's talking about. Like, whatever. But it was the fact that she kept calling me out my name that I had a problem with. So I cut her off. I was like, okay, wait. I just let her talk. I wasn't about to argue with her.
In 1 mile, turn left.
So I wasn't about to argue with her. I just was like, excuse. I was like, hey. I was like, respectfully, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. Don't call me a bitch. I ain't nobody's bitch. I ain't never been a bitch. Ain't never gonna be a bitch. And if I was a bitch, I would show the fuck would be your bitch. I told her just like that. I'm not your bitch. Don't call me a bitch. If you gotta say something to me, you can say something to me, but don't call me out my name. Girl, when I tell you, she just went off again after that. Bitch, blah 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 blah. So I was like, I'm not doing this. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I'm mad. See, that's the thing though. I'm learning. I'm a work in progress to not let people get me out of pocket and get me upset like that, because that's what they want to do. You see what I'm saying? People do that shit on purpose. And it's just learning to have self-control and learning to control your anger is a definite skill that has to be mastered with growth. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting better, but you know, it's just like, it was like all these things. I'm tired as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not feeling well. Then I got this woman on the phone who I don't know yelling at me, calling me out my name. You know what I'm saying? And I guess in defense of him, but she didn't need no defense. You know, it was a relationship thing. Like, we were bickering. We bicker sometimes. That's what couples do. And, you know, I don't know what he told her, but whatever he told her must have made her upset because she was trying to get on my ass. And I'm like, I don't even know you. So I told him, take her off the speaker. Like, don't come here talking to me with her on the phone. Like, because obviously she's being disrespectful. So at that point, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Like, I'm good on you. Like, I don't, whatever, get out my face. And so he was.
So this argument ensued over. So you know what would have been better if Chrissy could have told us. And again, she doesn't have to. But now that you are speaking about it, if you would have told us what the argument was about, because if it was just y'all bickering over, I mean, because it sounded like he was cooking dinner, you were filming. How did it bust out into a whole full-fledged argument? If you were filming him while he was preparing dinner for the children, she put on the screen. In the meanwhile, the kids went to bed. So what was the argument? What happened between you filming, putting the kids to bed? What was the argument? Were y'all arguing while you were filming? Sometimes silence is golden. Me personally, Chrissy probably shouldn't even told the story if she really didn't want to tell the story. It's obvious she never wanted to tell it. This happened back in January. It's July. So she probably shouldn't even told the story because it doesn't sound plausible. It doesn't sound logical, what she's saying. And she's given too much small detail when she does that. I've noticed when Chrissy keeps emphasizing on the small details, it just makes me feel like she's avoiding the bigger picture. Again, y'all, I'm just throwing something out there. I personally feel like they got into it because he was on the phone with another woman, because it definitely was a woman involved in the conversation. That's why, hence, female cousin came about. It definitely was a woman, but I personally don't think cousin. But let's continue.
Was still on the phone with her on speaker. I'm still, half naked. I'm getting dressed, and she's like, so he's still on speaker. I don't know what she's saying. She's just blurting some shit in the background. But the fact that she's still talking shit in the background makes me mad. Okay, it's too hard to try to do this while I'm driving, so I'm just gonna sit here and tell my story really quick. So basically, I go to grab the phone out of his hands. I'm like, you're not gonna talk about me and have your cousin on the phone talking shit in the background in my house. Like, I'm not gonna let that happen. He should have stopped it, but he didn't. He let it go on, which was childish of him. But he
No, what was childish of him calling the cousin? Okay, because what does the cousin don't even live in Texas. What the cousin gonna do over the phone? If you and him going through something, what the hell is he getting on the phone with the cousin for?
Let it go on. So with that being said, I was like, no. So I was like, okay, give me the phone, because I'm gonna throw that phone out. I'm gonna put it in that trash. I'm gonna throw that bitch out the door. You can go follow it and talk to her outside. Like, basically, that's where my mind was. Well, really, I should have just went and laid my ass the fuck down, because I didn't have the energy to even be doing all that. I'm grabbing the phone out of his hand. Obviously, he's not trying to let it go. He's like pulling it back, and I'm like, he's going this way, and I'm going this way. So he puts his arm up, and
so you trying to grab the phone, Chrissy, means sis, I'm sorry. It sounds like you were the aggressor in the situation, because that phone is his property. If you wanted him to leave, you should have just told him to get the hell out. And if he was refusing, then that's when you call the police and have him try to get him out. But unfortunately, if Rob was getting mail there, he was considered a tenant. Okay, he was or occupant. Let me say that. And under the law in Texas, if you live there more than 30 days and you receive a mail, then you would have to formally evict him. If the police would call, because the police would tell you that's a civil matter. Okay. Oh boy. Okay.
Pushes my shoulder to get off of him. And when he pushed me, there were a stack of my decorative pillows on the floor in the closet. So when he pushed me, how you take a step back, but I tripped on pillows and we both fell.
So if the decorative pillows was in the closet, y'all was arguing in the closet, how would the pillows being in the closet cause you to fall? And if y'all were in the closet, I'm just going to assume you got clothes in the closet. How is it that you fell so close to the wall? if you were in the closet? You just said the decorative pillows was in the closet.
He tripped with me. So we tripped together. So he fell. So when I fell, he fell too. And then when he fell on top of me. So the weight from him pushed me, like, you know, he fell on top of me basically. You know, my head hit the wall. It wasn't serious. I wasn't seriously injured, but you know, I did bump my head on the wall because of the sheer fact that he fell on top of me. So I'm like, nigga, get the fuck off of me. So I get up, he gets up. I'm pissed at this point because I'm like, you pushed me and it made me fall. And you let your cousin call me out my name. And so I call 911 because first I tell him, I'm like, okay, you can get the fuck out because just go. And he's like, I'm not about to like go anywhere. And he's like, it's late, you know, I'm not about to go anywhere. I'm about to just sit here. And I'm like, but you're not going to talk on the phone with your cousin. He was not going to get off the phone. Mind you, his cousin's on the phone this entire time, basically just egging him on. And so I'm like,
okay. So wait a minute. Wait. Cousin was on the phone the whole time. Y'all tripping over pillows, your head going up against the wall, y'all tussling over the phone, y'all arguing, and cousin was still on the damn phone? Why? Why was cousin still on the phone? Hell, at this point, cousin should have called 911 because cousin don't live in that state. So cousin couldn't get to him or you or the situation. Why was cousin still holding the phone? And if you don't remember what you were arguing about, how you remember the cousin was still on the phone? Let's continue.
Okay, you got to go now because fuck this shit. I'm not about to do this with you, this little back and forth. You're not about to sit up here and talk about me on the phone with your cousin. Like, that's not going to happen. So,
talking about you? Huh? I know he wasn't. What the hell was he saying, Chrissy? And you done gave this ninja a YouTube channel. You done gave him a roof over his head. You done gave him booty at request or demand, however y'all get down over there. You done gave this ninja several vehicles to drive, money in his pocket, and he was sitting up here talking about you in your damn house? Oh, I know you lying, sis.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna call them. So I was like, okay, you don't want to leave? I got a place where people who don't want to leave, they can go to. Again, I wasn't thinking, but I was angry. So I call, and then I'm like, you know what? So I call, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna hang up. Because at that point, I started to think a little bit like, do I really want to call the police here? Do I really want to deal with the police? No, because I did not feel good. Again, at the end of the day, I just wanted to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? So I hang up, but they had already, you know, I called, but they answered, and I didn't say anything. I just hung up. He stole the phone with the cousin. I decided to call his sister instead because I actually know the sister, and you know we have like a little bit of a talking relationship. So,
okay, so sis, cousin still on the phone. This must be a well devoted, loved cousin, because cousin, she ride and dying for her cousin. Ride. She's still on the phone? Hell, by this time, cousin should have showed up. Now, you called the sister. You say you don't know the sister, but y'all have a talking conversation. So meaning you've never met the sister in person, but you on the phone. You talk to her on the phone. Or maybe you talk to her while Rob is on the phone. And you just say, hey, sis, and whatever. So look, sis, if you were comfortable enough to call his sister, why wasn't he the one calling his sister initially? Why did he choose to call the cousin, but you call his sister? Now, mind you, you don't know none of these people because you've never met any of his family in person. Once again, how the hell y'all getting engaged and you don't even know his family? But anyway. So Rod calls the cousin when y'all get into it, but you call the sister. And I'm assuming you called the sister because she would be the voice of reason. So why wouldn't Rod call the sister? If y'all was getting into it, why would he call cousin? Chrissy, since you were very mad about something that you can't even remember what you was mad about, and that was a lot going on because the cousin called you a B. Okay? And then it was the whole, you called the police, but then you decided that was a bad idea, so you hung up. This man had just knocked your head into the wall, and you considered calling the police wasn't a good idea? Again, you guys, when you're in DV situations, those thoughts do come to your mind. I can say that honestly. My abuser, I never called the police on him. Never. Never. I never did. I should have. Had I called the police earlier, I wouldn't have stayed as long as I did. But I didn't. That's the unfortunate part. But I learned from that, right? No man since then has ever put their hands on me, and no man will ever put their hands on me. And if a man does, it's not going to even be a thought for me to call the police.
You know, if I got a problem since I'm irritated with him, I'll just call her, you know. But it was late, and I think she was asleep, so she didn't answer. But by about that time, he's out the door on the phone with his cousin still. The police come up because they're going to come and do a check anyway. And honestly, to be real with y'all, like if it was just me at the house if we were both in the house and they would came by, I wouldn't even answer the door, to be honest, because it wasn't that serious. I was just really fucking angry. Let me go ahead and say, yes, he was wrong for pushing me at all.
But what you mean it wasn't that serious? It obviously had to be serious, because sound like, girl, you and him was in there being Mike, Rocky and Mr. T. Okay? Y'all was in there. Yeah, it was a lot going on. Ooh, Chrissy, sis, don't downplay that man's behavior, because he was dead wrong. Whatever happened, he was dead wrong. Putting a cousin in your business, if it even was a cousin, he was wrong for that, because this grown man can't handle you. This grown man can't handle a conversation with you, a disagreement. He got to call his cousin to come diffuse the situation when the cousin don't even live in the same damn city. I'm just going to assume the cousin don't even live in the city, okay? Because if cousin lived in the city, cousin should have came over there instead of arguing with you on the phone.
He should have never pushed me at all. So he doesn't get a pass for that. But, you know, I just feel like it was just a situation that escalated for stupid shit. But anyway, so the guy comes, he talks to him because he's already outside. And then he knocks on the door and he's like, yeah, are you Christina? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And he's like, oh, okay. So it seems like you guys had like a little argument or whatever and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. And fuck him, he can go somewhere else tonight because, you know, he disrespected me and I don't appreciate that. And he was like, okay, you know, so so he said something and I was mad because he was still on the phone with the cousin. So I slammed the door in both the cop's face and his face. I'm like, fuck the both of y'all. You two guys figure this out.
Oh, God. Cousin still on the phone. The police that showed up and cousin still on the phone. Now, this is Chrissy, sis, whatever went on, I just hope moving forward, it still ain't going on with him or the next man you choose to be with, you become a little more wiser. Now I'm starting to think, did you actually leave Rod or did Rod leave you? I'm really starting to think that, because if y'all think about it in the history of me watching Chrissy, it just appears that the men are always leaving. And she's not really leaving the men leaving her. You know, and that's, sometimes it is what it is. But I'm starting to think, was he cheating, sis? And you caught him on the phone, or you seen a text, and that's how and you just threw cousin in. I don't know how, because cousin is in the police report. So I don't know. I don't know how cousin got into this, if he really was on the phone with a cousin, but I just don't understand how all this ensued over. Then why would he be on the phone talking about you like a dog to the cousin? Why is he talking about you like a dog, period, when y'all just finished filming a cooking video?
You guys figure it out. It's not got nothing to do with me. I'm comfortable. Bye. And I close the door. Boom. So I go sit down because I'm fuming at this point. I'm like so angry. I'm like, I can't believe this motherfucker. You know. Then the officer knocks on the door again. He's like, ma'am, okay, so, you know, I know you're mad. I know you're upset. Is it possible you guys can go to 2 different parts of the house? Like, he go downstairs, you go in the room, you go in the room, you whatever. He go on the couch, whatever. You know, just to, you know, till y'all calm down or whatever. And I looked at him and I said, fuck no. I said, he's not coming back in here. He disrespected me. He made me angry. You know, he's got the cousin on the phone still. And I told him, have your cousin book you a fucking flight. And that's it. And I closed the door again.
How is the police officer allowing you to keep closing the door on him? Obviously, he's there. Once he got there, he realized there's a DV situation going on. So how is it that the cousin or the officer keeps getting the door slammed on him? I'm just trying to figure that out. And then the officer is basically saying, ma'am, can he still stay here? Now, here's the thing, y'all. On cop shows I have watched, when there's a situation going on, such as what CHRISSY is explaining, I've seen cops say, do you have anywhere you can go tonight, sir? And he'll say no. Okay. Now, maybe the cop would have said, hey, is there any way that he could stay tonight? I don't understand why a cop would say that. And I'm going to give you guys an example. I was watching one of these true crime stories, and it happened here in the Midwest. I can't remember I think it was Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, but there was a woman and a man that got into an altercation over a video game. Okay. The police were called. The police came. They, you know, I guess they diffused the situation, and the woman and the man no one left. Okay. They stayed there. Hours later, the man ended up unaliving the woman that he got into it with and her daughter. Literally like a couple of hours after the police had left. True story. It's a black man, a black woman, and this was over a video game. He had his little daughter there. So he took his little daughter. Once it happened, he took his daughter. It was the woman's daughter and his biological child. They didn't have any children together. Once he unalived the mother and the child, he takes his daughter and took her to a family member house and went on the run. The police came, diffused the situation, which they thought it was diffused. And literally a couple of hours later, he took the life of the woman he was into it with, which was his girlfriend, and her child, and left them in the basement of the house. So if I call the police and tell them that they know there's an altercation going on, you're not leaving that man in my house. Especially if I'm the one calling. You're not leaving him. Where he go, it's none of my business. They have shelters, whatever. Go to a shelter. But you're not coming back up in this house.
So then the officer knocks on the door again a couple minutes later. And he's like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. He's like, if you're not, he's like, he can't just stay outside. You know what I'm saying? He said he doesn't have anywhere else to go. If he can't come in the house for the night or whatever, then I'm going to have to call my sheriff deputy, and he's going to have to handle the situation. Now, in my mind, I knew that was like okay, if you don't let him in, he's going to get arrested. I was like, get arrested. I don't care, because don't disrespect me. Don't push me. Don't fucking have your cousin calling me out my name. Like, that's cute. It's not cute.
So Rod didn't have anywhere to go. So I'm just assuming Rod didn't have a car. He didn't have a car. I'm just going to assume he didn't have any money. Rod not having anywhere to go is not your business. So again, it sounds like Rod was not a willing participant in helping you in that household, because it sounded like he didn't have a car. Sound like he didn't have any money. He couldn't ask the cousin to cash app him some money for a hotel that night, since the cousin was on the phone all the damn time. Cousin, if she cared enough to get into it with you and Rod in y'all business, if she loved her cousin that much, where she stayed on the phone the whole time. Y'all was over there tussling, falling over pillows. The police was called. He out there telling his side of the story with the police and cousin on the phone all this time. I'm surprised that y'all tussling over this phone, that the phone didn't hang up. But anyway, cousin couldn't Cash App Rod some money so he can go to a hotel to prevent him from going to jail. You mean to tell me the cousin allowed Rod to go to jail, but she was so involved in calling you out your name because she felt like you was in the wrong? Oh, all right, y'all. Okay, this is her story.
I was just like, I was over it. At that point, I was like, you pushed me too far. That was the first and last time you're ever going to get me like that. So I said, do what you got to do. I slammed the door. About 5 minutes later, sheriff deputy knocks on the door. He already has been briefed on everything that happened. He asked me again. I told him, I said, I don't know where the fuck he's got to go, but he can't come here because he pissed me off. You tell him to call his cousin that he's on the phone with, and you have her work out some arrangements because I'm not about to do it. I don't care if he got to go to jail, whatever. And I said, he pushed me. I don't appreciate it. They were just like, oh, he pushed you? Okay. Do you have any marks on you or anything or any bruises? And I was like, no. So basically, he went to jail because he pushed me. After it, we both failed.
But on the police report, sis, it clearly states that the officer visibly witnessed paint chips in your hair. You even said in the police report that you had head pain and back pain. That's in the report. That came out your mouth. The police don't got no reason to lie. They basically take information from the parties involved. Their reports are not assumptions. They're facts based off the witnesses or the victim's statement. Let's continue.
I hit the wall. But really, he really went to jail because he pissed me off and he let his cousin call me out my name and a multitude of other things that, that kind of escalated the situation. Now looking back, I probably would have still been very angry with him, but I would have thought twice to call the police or to talk to the police at all because of what's happening now. I don't want people all up in my business, And then on top of that, these various things that now...
No, sis, that's not the reason you should be looking back. You should be looking back on the fact that you chose the wrong man to be up in your house, up over you and your children. It don't have anything to do with the internet knowing about your personal business that goes on in the house that the internet doesn't live in. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that you trusted the wrong one. That's what it has to do with. And you sitting here acting as if you made the mistake is, again, victims of DV typically do that. I did that. I feel like I did something wrong, and that's why he was always putting his hands on me, because it was me. Now, once I'm in a clear mind, clear state, I know he was the reason why he was putting his hands on me. I wasn't the reason. He was the reason.
All these various things that have to be done now because of that one night. So, looking back, I wouldn't have called the police, but he made me mad. And so that's what happened. So basically, you guys, that's the story. That's what happened. And for the people online who are saying, oh, you lied about his character. No, I didn't lie about his character. All the things that I told you or that I showed or that you guys saw of him were actual events, actual things. That's actually how the man acts on a regular basis. For those of you saying I lied, I don't know how I can lie about something I just didn't put out there myself. There was no lying happening. I just didn't talk about it, you guys. And also the breakup, I didn't lie about why we broke up. We did not break up because of that. He's never put his hands on me. He's never put his hands on my children or was aggressive with me or them or anything like that. That one night, yes, he did push me, but outside of that, he's never done anything violent towards me. Okay. And
since sometimes all it takes is that first time. If you're saying this was the first altercation, that's typically how it starts. It takes the first time to be several times. Okay. So don't minimize him doing this one time only it's one time too much, CHRISSY. But y'all, at this point, CHRISSY needs to talk to somebody about what she goes through and why she puts herself in the positions that she puts her. I don't think she does it willingly, you know. I think CHRISSY does it because she doesn't know any better. You know, me personally, I think out of all the men CHRISSY ever dated, I think probably Cash's dad was probably the best one, because if you think about it, he was the only man that kind of stood up for his child. All these other dads of these children are seeing what CHRISSY is going through, because even if they're not watching the social media, I'm pretty sure the women that's in their lives know CHRISSY has social media. And none of these daddies are reaching out to her saying, hey, do you need me to come get the kid for a while so you can get some things together? You know, it just sounds like none of the fathers of these children, or even the grandparents of the fathers, the parents of the fathers of the grandparents of these children, none of them are concerned. None of them want to lend a hand to help CHRISSY out, considering she's going through a lot. Because this girl, regardless if it's self-inflicted or not, CHRISSY is definitely going through a lot. You know, she definitely is an agent of chaos, you know, because it's always chaotic situations going on. CHRISSY comes on the internet to try to fluff this chaos. But sis, you could put lipstick and hair on it, it's still a pig. You know what I mean? So her situation is very chaotic. And I think CHRISSY has managed to function in dysfunction. So that's why she comes to the internet and try to explain what she's managed to make like it's okay for her to go through, because she functions, in my opinion, in dysfunction.
There was something else I was gonna say. Oh, and another thing that I wanted to say really quickly is that people were asking, like, why did I lie about why we broke up? We didn't break up because of that. We broke up for other reasons, and it was nothing violent at all. The reason why we broke up, I will talk about maybe in another video if I feel the need to, but we broke up for other reasons. And it's just basically the man needs to go on his own personal journey, you know, and that journey needs to be taken alone. There's some things that he really needs to work on. And
yeah, it's probably his alcoholism, because I clearly think the man is an alcoholic. He clearly sounds like a man of not a good stature, because what man would he's from Florida. What man just ups and leaves Florida or leave a state that they live in with no regards to come be with a woman that he barely knows, to be with her and all her children, all her 9 kids? What man is doing that? Like, he didn't have a house. He didn't have a job. We know he has 1 child. So you chose to leave Florida as if you had nothing going on to come live with CHRISSY in Texas? What real man is doing that? What real responsible man is leaving his life behind to go be with a woman in a whole nother state that he barely knows? It's not like CHRISSY knew this man forever. She talked to him on the phone for a little bit, and then next thing you know, he showed up in Texas. This man clearly had nothing going on in Florida. That's why it was so easy for him to leave. And CHRISSY knew that. CHRISSY got to stop choosing these bums and choose real men. CHRISSY needs to stop wanting to deal with men that is willing and okay with moving in with her. If a man is so willing to move in with you, sis, that's not the one you want. Because that means he has nothing. Why do you keep wanting to deal with the men that don't have anything? That'd be my thing with CHRISSY. Why do you keep dealing with the men that don't have anything? When you got a lot of responsibilities over there, you need to be dealing with men that can match you.
You know, I cannot go on that journey with him, because it's his journey personally. And it's you know, it's just his journey. And so I just feel like he's not ready for a committed relationship right now. He's got to do some personal healing. And hell, I probably am not either. So that's why I'm choosing.
He's not ready for a committed relationship because the man was probably over there cheating on you. So is that who was on the phone? It was some chick. It wasn't cousin. It was some chick, some random chick. Is that what you say? He's not ready for a committed relationship. How is he not ready? And he proposed to you last year with that big ass canary diamond. He proposed. Y'all was on here talking about having babies. You said you need to have a baby more sooner than later because your biological clock, I guess, it was ticking. I don't know. You're only like 30, what you about to be 32 or something like that. So how's your biological clock ticking? You still fairly young. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't be trying to have any more kids. But, I mean, that's your body and that's your business. But he's not ready for a committed relationship. Well, he wasn't ready last year when you filmed your proposal? Or was that a promise ring? Oh, boy.
Choosing to be single. But yeah, it has nothing to do with that night or anything like that. I wasn't ever abused. What I really hate people saying is that I choose men over my kids or, you know, defending him or whatever. I don't do that. I don't make excuses for grown men. I don't have to. And I would never put my any of my romantic relationships before my children at all. You know, I know there's a lot of people online who try their damnedest to make it seem like I'm deep crazy and all I care about is men and I don't care about my kids. And
sis, the reason why people insist that, because that's what you show. You're always showing up with a different man on the screen, sis. People are not making that up. You're giving the people the conversation. So that's why people feel that way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe those are not your intentions, but that's definitely when you again, this is an assumption because I don't know what Rod's situation was in Florida, but I'm just going to assume he wasn't on a job for the last 5-10 years, the same job. I'm just going to assume that, right? I'm going to assume that he didn't own a home. I'm just going to assume that because if he did, why would he just up and leave all that? If anything, why he didn't convince you to come to Florida? And then when he came to Texas, he came living up in there with you. So that's why people feel the way they feel, sis. It's based off your actions. It's why people have came up with that assumption. People are not making that up. People basically come up with their assumptions based off your own actions. Obviously, you don't want people to think that, but then if you want people to think differently, then you have to change the narrative.
That's the furthest thing from the truth. That's it. I think that's all I really wanted to address with that situation. As far as everything else, it's really none of you guys' business, and I'm not going to talk about it. But let's just say everything I do is for a reason. People always have a concern with me moving, and they think that that's very unstable. But you guys, I have 9 children, and I want to afford them the best life possible that I can and that I can comfortably afford. So, you know, sometimes that might mean we have to move to a different location to get a house that's the right size for us, that's in the right price point for me.
Right. So when you find that house, which Chrissy, I need you to go back and watch your videos, ma'am. You just said this house that you currently are being evicted from, you said that was the whole reason why you moved to that house, because you said it was affordable. You said it was cheaper than the other house. So we understand that you got to have the right price point. Shit, that's everybody, right? Everybody is not trying to live above their means, and if they are, that's their business. So you just said that this house was in the right price point. So how is it that you're getting evicted from it? Like, how do you rationalize that? If you're saying that you're trying to give your children a good life and a life that you can afford to give them, so I would just assume when you find the house, I'm just going to assume that's a house that you can afford. Then why is it that you don't stay long enough in the house? If you decided that that's the house you want, because you just said back when this mess happened with the whole DV situation, you said that house was a house that you can afford. You said that. You said it was cheaper than the other house. You said that's why you were moving.
I purchase a home, I'm gonna probably move yearly. And I try my best to stay in the same area if I can. Like, say for instance, Houston. When I was living in Houston, I lived in my house for a year. My lease was going up for renewal.
This girl just said until she can purchase a home, she's probably going to move yearly. Since you don't even last a year, you mean quarterly? So y'all just heard her say that. So CHRISSY, keep moving. Don't nobody say anything. Y'all just be quiet. Let the girl move. TMR is not going to react to it. We're not going to talk about it because this girl is telling y'all, I'm going to keep moving. I don't give a damn what y'all say. This is what I do, and this is what I like doing. It's obvious she likes doing that, y'all. CHRISSY likes the newness of things. When she gets into a house after a couple of months, it's old to her. So she likes I think she likes the excitement of knowing she's getting ready to do something different, something new. She's probably gotten her kids used to that too. So at this point, you guys, this is the lifestyle that she has designed for herself. We can't do anything but watch it if she chose or chooses to show it. It's just that simple.
Renewal. And I had talked to the owners about renewing for another year, and I was about to. And then they came to me like last minute, literally the month that my lease was supposed to be up, and told me that they were going to sell. They were going to sell a house because they had another house down by the beach that was an Airbnb that made more money. So they were going to let this house go. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I wasn't in the market to buy. I wasn't able to buy it, and I didn't want to buy that house anyway. So I was like, all right. So literally, it was hard for me to find a place in Houston at the time because it felt like everybody was moving. It was super competitive. 5 bedrooms were scarce, and the ones that I was able to, that I did see that I liked, or like somebody would get it before me or something like that. So it was crazy. So I started looking outside in outer areas, outer cities, because one thing about me, I'm not about to be homeless. Okay, so especially with my kids. So I was looking at outer cities because I was desperate. I had to, it was either that or let myself be without a house. And I got my house in Austin. And, I applied, just started applying for everything. My landlord in Austin called me back. And he was like, yep, it'll work. It's a 5-bedroom, whatever. And I was like, okay, great. So that's how I got that house. I don't just wake up one morning and be like, I think I'd like to uproot my kids and move because it's just convenient. It's just something I'd like to do with my life.
Sis, yes, that is what you do. You just said until you're able to buy a home, you're going to be moving every year. So you just said you are going to move a lot. So you do wake up one morning and say, yep, it's time to go. Like, yeah, that is what you're doing, sis. Yeah, that's what's happening. Y'all, at this point, she keep these wigs long as she does places to live. Because I think I've seen this wig before.
My life is not like that. Now, another thing that I want to stress to you guys is that when I lived in Colorado, I lived there all of my life, all of my adult life up until 4 years ago. 4 years ago was the first time I moved out of Colorado with all of my kids and just left. So I'm not really one of those types of people who normally moves from state to state or city to city. I don't usually do that. But at the time, living in Colorado didn't financially make any sense anymore because the cost of living had gotten way too high for me.
Sis, you are a person that moves state to state, city to city. You lived in Colorado, you lived in Vegas, and now you're in Texas. And in Texas, you lived in Houston, now you're in Austin. You are a person who lives state to state and city to city. Lord.
Afford my kids the life that I want to give. So no, I'm not rich and I can't go get a mansion, but I can afford my kids a nice lifestyle. And I was talking to, and I just have to do that the best way I know how. And I understand not everybody's life is like that. Some of you guys have lived in the same house your entire life until you went to college or got married or left the nest, and only moved twice your entire life, and that's great for you. And that's just, you just have to just be open-minded to other people's lifestyles. There's people who have whole families that live in RVs and shit now. I mean, it's a new day. People do things differently. It doesn't.
Chrissy, people been moving like you for centuries. You're not the only one that does that, okay? We just follow you on social media, and based off the people that I follow, I don't follow everybody in the world on social media. Based off the people that I follow, you are the only one that moves as frequently with so many children, okay? We understand that everybody is not privileged to being able to say, I was raised in this house and I've lived in this house for 20 years. Everybody doesn't have that story, because people do move, right? People move out of the state, people move across the town, people move to different cities. It's nothing wrong with moving, sis. Nobody said there's anything wrong with moving. Moving is acceptable because people do that, right? However, what people frown upon is the fact that you move so frequently with so many children, and it doesn't seem like you like to be stable. That's what people will just assume, being a mother of so many children, that you would want to be stable for the sake of your children. That's what people are assuming. But again, you guys, this is the lifestyle that she's chosen. So we have to, you either going to watch it or you're not going to watch it, you know. I promise you, I don't want to talk about her moving anymore. Like, it's a mute conversation. She's gonna do it. She just said she's gonna move every year until she can buy a house. So she's already forewarning you. So really the reactions to it are redundant, because she's gonna do it.
Make them bad parents, doesn't make me a bad mother, doesn't mean that I'm not caring about my kids or their friendships and things like that. But what I'm not going to do is pick my kids' friendships. As much as I do appreciate their bonds that they do make with their friends, I'm not going to pick their friends over having a comfortable lifestyle or a house or a place to live. I'm not going to be struggling because my kids' friends they don't want to leave.
Then that's called being selfish. Because just like you worry about your life, you should also worry about your children's lives as well. Them having friends is part of them learning how to have relationships with people. That definitely should be a factor in your mindset of being a mom and giving your children stability. So basically, you're saying you don't want to give your children stability. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it sounds like.
Their friends. Do you understand? So that's basically just my reasoning for when I do move. No, but I do get it. I do understand, and I do want to stay in a place for longer than a year. Even when I buy, I might sell it, rent it, whatever, and go find something else that I like. You never know. But until I purchase a home, I'm probably gonna be moving. So you guys just be open-minded about it. And I will tell you something that one of my subscribers told me the other day that kind of opened my eyes to a lot of different things too. And I, like I told you guys, if you guys hit me up, I don't get a chance to get to everybody all the time, but that day I had time, and, we got into a really good conversation, and hey girl, you know who you are. But we got into a really good conversation, and, she was talking, and she's like, I understand, you moving and things like that. But she's like, listen, Chrissy, she's like, I grew up for 10 years. I can't remember if she said housing or the projects, but she's like, I grew up for 10 years in the projects. She's like, and I would have rather, she's like, and she's grown, she's older than me. She's got kids that are in their 20s. And she told me this, and she was like, I would have rather lived in nice houses and had nice places and lived in nice neighborhoods and been afforded that type of lifestyle and moved every year than to grow up for 10 years in the projects. And that changed my life right there. So I just wanted to say, like, I know there's a lot.
That person's statement changed your life? How? Like, at the end of the day, that's her situation. Just because that's her thought process, you don't know what type of lifestyle that person lived. You don't know how her parenting or the people that were her parents were. You don't know anything. You just,
A lot of people who don't understand what I do or why I do it, but you're just going to have to understand that my life is not, I don't live my life inside of any type of statistical, I don't live my life inside the norm. It's obvious. I have 9 children, you know, my life, I don't do things the same way everybody does them.
Woo, baby, 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 baby. Sis, you are too much. Y'all, Chrissy just told y'all, I'm different. Accept it or not. And on that note, Chrissy, stample of approval. We accept the fact that you are very different. Okay? From a lot of mothers out here who definitely care about their children wanting to have friendships, stability. You know, we definitely understand that you are different. And those, like you said, your concern is more making sure y'all got a roof over your head than your children having lifelong relationships with people or going to the same school and being able to say, you know, when your daughter who's a freshman, being able to say the teacher that they had in the 5th grade, their little brother now has. We do understand that you don't care anything about that. And like I said, people move, right? People move, people change schools. All that is normal. People do that. But people typically don't do it several times in 1 year. That, even a person who's in the service typically gives you, like when they send you somewhere, you're typically there anywhere from a year to 3 years. Like that's your assignment. If I had a friend that lived, they were living in Texas, and her husband and their children went to Alaska. They were there for 3 years. Once their tour ended in Alaska, they went back to Texas. The wife is the one that was in the service. The husband and the wife both were in the service, but her husband ended up getting medically discharged because something happened to him. So she remained in her career being in the service. So when her tour was ending and the 3-year tour in Alaska ended, her husband opted to go back to Texas. They bought a house in Texas, and he basically is a stay-at-home dad because he's retired now, and he stayed home with their children. I think they have 3 children together, and he has 1 child, but she's an adult. She's like in her 30s now. But anyway, he decided to keep the kids in Texas to give them stability and allow her to finish touring. And then they would just, you know, they basically had to travel to wherever her next tour was to spend time with her. But he felt like him and her both decided to send the kids back to Texas, and they bought a house there so they could give the children stability, because they felt like it wasn't fair for the kids to have to keep uprooting and moving because this is her career. So they both chose to make that sacrifice and to basically have a long distance relationship until she finished the tour. Now she's actually out of the service now. She's been out about 2 years now, and she's made it back to Texas with her family, and they're doing just fine. They've been married about 15 years
now. And I make mistakes along the way because guess what? I'm human. So it is what it is, you guys. You just have to understand and rock with me anyway. I know a majority of you, I don't got to tell this. I know you guys get it. And the people who are negative are always going to be negative. They're always going to have something to say. And we talked about this on live today. And I'm just trying to grow around it, you know, because they're not going to go away. And they are trying to stop my growth, but it's not going to happen.
No, Chrissy, I don't think anybody's trying to stop your growth. I think the only person that can stop that is yourself, right? You're the only one that can actually stunt your growth. And I you know, it's just a conversation, sis. You know, you're on social media. You've made your platform about being a mom of so many children. So when you do things that some would consider out of the norm, it definitely sparks a conversation. Okay. That's pretty much it. But CHRISSY, I wish you all the luck in the world, sis. I hope you and your family stay safe. I hope one day you find peace in whatever you're looking for. Hopefully you find it. And I'm praying that you truly and truly let Rod go, because he definitely, based off what you have stated, he definitely does not sound like he deserves to be anywhere around you and your children. Okay? All right, CHRISSY, bye. We'll talk to you later. Oh, boy. Okay, y'all. That was a lot. Why, when people tell the truth, she calls it negative? Because it's the truth. And CHRISSY obviously doesn't like to hear the truth about her situation. And, you know, some people don't. But that's, you know, it's the reality of it. This is a responsible and logical way of thinking as a parent. I don't think CHRISSY have that kind of thinker. You know what? Elizabeth says, sis, I need a damn aspirin. You know what? At this point, I would really want to know the conversations that her and her mother has together. I would really want to know, does her mother ever try to be the voice of reasoning for CHRISSY? She needs to apply for Section 8. No, she doesn't. She doesn't need to apply for Section 8, because with Section 8, you have to stay in the house for 2 years. And CHRISSY can't do that. She definitely does not need Section 8. CHRISSY needs to be able to, she just needs to understand that when you start having children, you're no longer number one. The kids are number one, and you're like number whatever, okay? The kids take top priority when you become a parent, okay? So, Suma, I'm just wondering, what does her mother say? I'm like, my God. Child, her and Jasmine story times be so damn exhausting. Child, I'm definitely, I'm like Elizabeth. I need an aspirin after this. Okay. She wants to live her delusions in peace. And right. And y'all, we gonna let her. We're gonna let CHRISSY do what she do over there. Now, if she come on here with another sit down conversation and we feel like we need to dissect it, we definitely gonna do that. You said her mama probably didn't gave up. Probably. Her mama probably's like, girl, she grown. You said Tesla stations her don't sell, have to be backed into, not at the grocery store. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that, Kiana. You are wrong, CHRISSY. We aren't trying to stunt your growth, but you almost let Rod stunt your growth. Yeah, that's true. So hopefully, sale was okay. So hopefully at this point, CHRISSY, yeah, I don't know. At this point, y'all, I don't even know what to say about the lady, but good luck to her. Okay. Good luck to her. Blessings to her and her children. If she continues to come on social media, she basically CHRISSY just wanted to set the stage to let y'all know it is what it is. Okay. If she move into a house tomorrow, this time next year, she probably won't be in that house anymore. She wants y'all to accept that, deal with it, and leave her be about it. And sis, mission accomplished. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm gone. I'm out of here. I thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you do, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. Remember, sub what you love. Bye.